I mean, okay, Kurt Cobain had a bit of guts sticking a shotgun in his mouth.
He had less guts afterwards.
That's in the face. Didn't lose face, did he? Or did he? I just don't. I mean, it's quick, I suppose, and spontaneous. Cyanide's another way.
He's so spontaneous. He just runs in the party and kills himself.
It's alive! Show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
Anyway, welcome to Empire of Geek, and this is the first show of the new year, 2016. And on the show this week, I've got with me Catface Paul, who comes dressed as a chimney sweep tonight.
What, governor?
That's a lovely flat cap you've got on, isn't it? It's real Harris tweed, isn't it?
It's a real Harris tweed. It was bought last year for my birthday, for a Christmas present by my sister, and I found it under the.
She doesn't like it.
Tonight.
I thought it was a rat.
I like it.
What do you mean it's a rat?
There's no similarity.
We've also got Rob on the show.
Raoul.
How are you, Raoul?
Fine, I think.
Yeah. What's the point in anything? And we've also got Andy on the show.
Yo.
Hello, Andy. And you've just been away on a snowboarding holiday, haven't you?
I sure have, yeah.
And you've been sending back on Facebook pictures of you in a hot tub with men.
It's not gay.
Did you get like loads of white powder up your nose?
Wow. It wasn't a massive drug orgy.
Just did you have a good time though?
Just a gay one. No.
Yeah. I was tempted to take the photo of you sat in that jacuzzi thing with that guy and put a kind of a love heart board around it and start using it as one of my profile pictures.
I was surprised you didn't bring me actually. I was surprised by your lack of.
But I just thought I'll leave him because originally Lisa, if you don't not listen to the show before, my girlfriend, she wanted me to get a photo of the front of Andy's house and then Photoshop it to look like I'd written pedo on his garage door. But I refused to do it on the grounds that I think he would have come straight home from his holiday and wouldn't be very happy about it.
Why didn't you do it for real?
I have thought about doing it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Well, no, because Photoshop, you can never. I mean, unless you're going to spend a significant amount of time on it, it will never look completely good to the.
True. However, the other one is going around my friend's house and writing pedo on his garage.
That would
might
be funny.
just to alienate me from everyone in my neighbourhood.
It'd be funny.
I'll come and write it on your front.
Do you care? The average age of people around here is 65 anyway. Who cares about them? They're going to die soon anyway, Rob, aren't they?
And when you said you don't care, do you?
But probably were pedos. It was all right back then, wasn't it? When them being that old and all.
Let's face it, you had a job for life and you were probably a pedo, weren't you?
Exactly.
All the photos were black and white and everyone was fiddling kids.
You always go on about wanting to live in a bygone era.
Yes, that's what
you're referring to.
Yeah, because it was much better in the past, wasn't it? Disease,
I've
war.
never said
In fact, when you arrived here tonight for the show, you were on about why does anyone have children?
Well, yeah, why?
Yeah,
why
but that's
bother?
the same argument that a certain James Savile gave before he died, and we discovered what he was the world's greatest pedo. He was like, I hate kids. I don't like kids. Do original way. I don't like them. Horrible. And he was fiddling with them all along. Is this a cover story?
Well, he must have liked kids because he had Jim on Fix It.
No, he said he hated them.
He
But
did,
in fact,
yeah.
it was a cover, wasn't it? For
What a great... That was Smoke and Mirrors, that wasn't it?
Nonsense.
Rob,
Yeah.
do you like kids?
In what way?
Tell the truth. Do you like them, yes or no?
Do I like kids?
You don't like
Get a
kids,
bit
do you?
of time
Because if you
there,
say
Rob.
yes you do, then we're going to suggest that suggests something. But if you say no you don't, it also means that...
What if I'm just indifferent? What if I can take or leave them?
It's like being a witch, isn't it? If you're made from wood and you float, you're a witch. If you sink, then you die. You're also... No, you're innocent.
Was that like
you're also a witch.
Was that your like?
You're buggered. You're screwed either way. Yes or no? Do you like kids?
Pardon?
Do you like kids, yes or no?
Oh, I'm indifferent to them. I don't care.
Oh, look
That's
at
such
that.
a Savile answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, should we get on with the show and stop accusing Rob of being a big pedo? Right, on
Rob will
Empire
fix
Geek
it for
this
you.
This is a story that actually came out over Christmas. I read this on actual Christmas Day, and it was to do with a study that was being carried out by a lady called Jessica McCain, and she's a psychologist at the University of Georgia, and she did some research into, I've labelled the story, Are Geeks Narcissistic Asshats? But she was doing some research.
What's an asshat?
An asshat.
It's an American term.
Well, no, I also use the term as well. Just someone who's a massive ass.
Oh, okay.
She did a study, and she went and did research for people attending the science fiction and fantasy convention in Georgia. It was of 2,354 people, and she concluded in the study that there was a conclusive link between those scoring highly on the geek scale and those who showed higher levels of neuroticism, non-clinical depression, and also narcissistic tendencies. So do you believe that? Do you think geeks are narcissistic?
I think that's a really difficult thing to prove or disprove, to be honest with you.
So did Jessie McCain until she did prove it.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's just lots of different types of people, full stop. I mean, there are people who are into geeky things that might not have much of an ego, and others who've probably got a massive ego, Steve.
Are you talking about Rob again?
Yes.
Deflected. Yeah, but what do you think, Rob? Do you think geeks have massive egos and are narcissistic?
It's interesting, because when I go to a lot of programming conventions and the hackathon events and so forth, you do get some real cocky, fat bastard neckbeard whose belly's out there. They identify as being a pagan. They've got big beards, and they're all being really cocky and putting everyone down. And the reality is, they can't function in the real world. So in that kind of bubble, you know, they
What are you laughing at, Andy?
Well, I think he's right. There's a bit of an IT crowd mentality about some
He's
geeks.
just sat there with his mum
Well, they
scarf
think-
and his neckbeard.
I've got a neckbeard.
That is such a
In his little
neckbeard.
bubble.
Those bloody neckbeards over there.
No, I think you've got a
Don't
point.
look at my neckbeard.
I haven't got a neckbeard.
There is an
It grows
IT
up there as well.
There is an IT crowd mentality about some people in that industry where they think the whole of the world are complete and utter idiots, and why can't they just turn it off and on again?
Yeah.
This was actually a study of geeks going to conventions, though, like comic book conventions.
But there is a certain that kind of mentality. I imagine that somebody who isn't able to function in the real world, isn't able to be important in the real world, they get into that environment where there are perhaps lesser geeks, for want of a better word, and they suddenly get this grandiose sense of importance. And
I could believe that. I went to, this was several years ago, they did a big steampunk festival in Lincoln. I went to the first one, and I was sat at the table with some people, and one of them, who was the boyfriend of our friend Stabby's sister, he was there, and he was the biggest dick. One thing to say about this study is, they have mentioned the fact that conventions have become much more popular all across the board because television and stuff like The Big Bang Theory has made being a geek cool.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the people who go to these things who probably cosplay are possibly more attracted to the attention than the actual geeky things. And they're probably more likely to actually engage with a study like this and be less actually real geeks.
yeah, because this comedian I was watching the other day, like how because geeks become cool, all the people that weren't geeks, that basically the arseholes at school used to beat you up and now identifying themselves as geeks because they put some braces on and some thick rimmed glasses, and all of a sudden they're all this, you know.
You know, something's just come to
Everything
mind.
you say is just dripping with your own personal,
You're
history.
talking about yourself, aren't you?
Freaking
You know,
assholes.
I think there's a lot to be said for social ineptness that a lot of geeky people tend to show, and you can often put that down to being slightly autistic, can't you?
But there's an element of pride.
So
in
the arrogant. I'm talking.
Like turning
I'm
up
talking-
dressed in a ridiculous fashion.
For example,
I do like your
Jimmy
hat.
Sweet.
I'm just wearing it because I found it. I thought, well, put it on. It's
What's,
cold outside,
what's
isn't it?
Bert from Mary Poppins going to do when he finds out you
I was
pinched his
just
hat?
thinking about
He's
it.
Mary
going to say, "Give me back
Poppins.
my hat." Yeah, I don't know. So I think a lot of displays of arrogance and rudeness can probably be misconstrued because they are
Misconstrued.
autistic. Misconstrued.
I'm going to misconstrue you.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
You know, so that arrogance can be, in their head, they're not being arrogant. Technically, they're just telling you what they think.
Yeah, I could believe that.
Yeah.
But we're going to leave that
Oh,
story and move
mate.
on to something more exciting, which is Robot Wars is coming back.
Brilliant.
More exciting.
I used to friggin' love Robot Wars. It used to be hosted by Craig Charles. He actually took, was it John Fashanu, who was at the time presenting Gladiators, to court for stealing his... There was something he did.
What, Aruga?
Some kind of... Yeah, it was, the Awooga, that Awooga. Yeah, he used to think, Awooga! And then John Fashanu started doing it. And Craig Charles either took him to court or he was very close to taking him to court over making the awooga noise.
Can you copyright an expression like that?
We can't have officially an awooga on the show because Craig Charles will sue us.
Mm.
So anyway, it's going to be a 6-part series. It's going to be filmed in Glasgow. So how many pissed up Scottish people wrapped up in kitchen foil will be entering that and headbutting the other robots? It's a new state-of-the-art arena with bulletproof, purpose-built fighting arena. It's going to be amazing, apparently, and
it's like fires. You have to like shoot stuff now.
Well, no, projectiles were always banned.
That's right, but if they made a bulletproof arena, can you actually have?
I don't know.
Projectiles. Because that would be ace if you put a Gatling gun on one.
Well, then it'd be over in a second.
The 5 Mars bars have been deep fried.
I'd rather face a Mars bar than a fucking Gatling gun. But yeah, do you remember some of that I've written on my thing? Razor 2. Razor Chaos 2. Do you remember Chaos 2? Chaos 2 was one of the first, I think, to have the Shreemec, the self-righting mechanism.
Yes.
And it was Chaos 2. George something was the guy.
What was the wedge design? That one they were 18-year-old A-level students, and they entered this wedge design with a self-righting mechanism. I think it was the first to have. I can't remember.
What's that wheelie big cheese was it?
It won.
Sergeant Bash is he still about?
Sergeant
Bash is kind of a Matilda.
But it was one of the first to self-right, and it was white. It had like a red thing on it, and it didn't have any weapons or anything. It was just the fact that because you couldn't stop it, and eventually it could push you. It could push you and flip you. That was its thing.
That wasn't like Tornado or something, was it? It was just a box on wheels, but it could run either way, and it just used to ram into stuff.
But
it had a spinning disc on the front. What was that one called?
Oh, that was it.
Hypnodisc.
Yeah.
Fucking Hypnodisc. Yeah.
It had like a little flippy thing on it.
So I'm getting a little bit too excited there.
It could use to self-right itself, or it could use to put other vehicles, other robots, on its back.
It was a woodyard like cutting thing that it had in the front, didn't it? Like a disc on the front.
Yeah, that was Hypnodisc. Yeah. Razor was the one which looked really good. It always won the design award. It was like a big pincer type thing that had a head like a metal eagle. It used to close in. I used to love that. And then it got a self-righting mechanism.
Yeah. Well, it's been what?
I love Robot Wars.
10 years it been since Robot Wars was last
13, 14 years.
14? Right. Yeah. Okay, so in
2002 was when it moved to Channel 5.
So in that time, has technology advanced sufficiently, and then new materials? What treats we got, what weapons we got? Will they be able to actually combust and flame throwers?
We've got lasers now and stuff.
If you had lasers, that'd be awesome.
Would Bulletproof Armour stop a laser cutting straight through all the audience and killing them?
It's Glasgow, isn't it? So
what was that?
When they're dead, nobody cares.
Exactly.
Was it you, Steve, that was telling me about that TV program in America where they're actually going to have people inside robots? Fighting one another in an arena.
Oh, that was going to be. It was a challenge from. I'm not anything about it.
It was Japanese. It was a Japanese
versus this American robot. Yeah, we covered it on Empire of Geek, as it happens.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so they had guns on the front of them, didn't they?
They fired projectors. They weren't proper guns though. Yeah, they fired like pellets and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I don't know what happened. What came of that? Anyway, moving swiftly on our next story. It's quite a good one to do at the moment because just before we started the show there was a news story on about Jada Pinkett Smith bitching about the Oscars, saying that because there was no black actors in the main leading actor role and there was no other black actors in lots of other roles, that they were kicking off saying that it's discrimination. And Raoul, you obviously as our token racist, you were jumping right in there.
No, not as
you
a
mentioned
racist.
cotton fields.
What?
Uncle Tom, you used all those terms.
I think, so as soon as I'm talking about this, I'm going to put this on the wrong way around.
I did no such thing.
Yeah, Spike Lee as well. Spike Lee, I think, as
maybe it's just the black actors weren't as good as the white actors. Where are the Chinese actors? Where are the Asian actors?
The other thing is, has this been something which has been like bubbling under the surface for a few years in America?
Well, last year there was no black actors in the lead role. I'm trying to think that obviously I've not seen all the films, but I'm trying to think what has been a really good. There are some amazing black actors. Idris Elba should win an Oscar at some point. Morgan Freeman, he must have won an Oscar already.
Well.
If not, he deserves one just for everything he does.
But Morgan Freeman.
Lenny Henn. Oh no, forget that.
Morgan Freeman hasn't done anything hasn't acted in any film this year, has he?
No, maybe you ought to ask yourself the question: either take it down to its root level. How many black actors, or how many black people, Afro-American people, are thinking about going into acting in the first place? It might be that there's a disproportionate number of people going into acting who are black simply because, for a number of reasons, social reasons, they're deciding not to go into acting. Maybe that might have a knock-on effect on the number of people who actually end up, at the top of their sport being in films. So, can you blame them for that? I mean, can you blame the Oscars for that?
How many roles are black? That's the other question.
How many black directors are there? I mean,
if there aren't the volume,
Spike Lee comes to mind.
Well, that's another argument, I suppose. How many lead roles are for black guys? Because can't answer either way. But one way of sidelining someone is to just not feature them in particular positions, which is the argument on this one. I would say.
Well, if that is the case, then that's a valid argument. But to boycott the Oscars simply because there aren't the nominees put forward.
What they've been better doing was actually saying, why have you not nominated this person? Pick out someone who's been in a role in the last year who's been really good.
Yeah.
And if they did that and showed that, then that would be a really good argument. Just saying we're not going because it's all white faces is not helpful.
You need to be a legitimate argument, really, don't you, rather than getting arsey.
I think they could make a legitimate. I can't think off the top of my head of any film that I've seen with.
Well, apparently, I've forgotten the actor's name, but Creed, the new Rocky film. Apparently, the person that plays, I've forgotten his name. He was Michael. Is it Michael Jordan Jr. or something, or
Michael B. Jordan?
Michael B. Jordan. That's right. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. Apparently, I haven't seen Creed yet, but apparently he was outstanding in it.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to see on that one.
I really want to see that. I do love Rocky films.
Now, talking about dodgy lists for nominees for things, last week was the Angoulême International Comics Festival, which is in France. It's a whole week where this village is taken over by comic art and graphic novels and things like that. And the big crowning award of it is the Grand Prix, they call it. It's seen as the Oscars of comic books. Mm-hmm. Now, it kicked off last week because they put forward a list of 30 nominees to win this Grand Prix award, which is for, from my understanding, people who've given a shitload to comic books over their life. And none of them were women at all. In fact, in its 43-year history, there's only ever been one woman who's won the Grand Prix. And so as soon as this list was announced, loads of people who were actually up for the name dropped out. People like Daniel Clothes, Brian Michael Bendis and others dropped out of it. I think 12 of them dropped out. Because they said this is unfair. Yeah. There are tons of great female cartoonists who should have been in this list. Mm-hmm. The fact that you've got 30 names and not one of them is a female, they said is a bit of a piss take. And then the organiser of the competition, they added in, I think it was something like 6 women to the list. And then they said, actually, we're not going to have a list. Get rid of the list. We're going to let people just vote for whoever they like. Which is probably what they should have done from the beginning.
Yeah, that sounds fairest.
Now, in response to this, an executive officer for the festival, a man called Frank Bondox, he said, he went, there is a very simple reason why women have not been included. There are no women qualified for this award.
What?
The festival likes women, but cannot rewrite the history of comics. As if to say, so what he's saying is there's been no influential women in comics that he can put forward for this award, which is a load of shit. So, based on this, he then went on to say, after someone called him on his bullshit, he said, put it this way, if you go to the Louvre, which for any listeners is not the French word for a shithouse, it's an art gallery, he says, if you go to the Louvre, you will find a few women artists in there. Unfortunately, what no one pointed out to him is that during when most of the artwork was painted in the Louvre, women would not have been allowed to go to art college and train officially to get work in there. So there's a reason why there's less women.
Even if they had created something, it was unlikely to be recognised.
Yeah, they'd have to put it under a man's name, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Anyway, so there are tons and tons of people that could have been voted for it. Well, in particular, there's an artist called Claire Bretécher, and she's a French titan of comics. Her name wasn't down there. Fiona Staples, who does Saga, which is an amazing story, and Posey Simmons, who's British artist, and she's been doing comics for years. Why wasn't she on that? I think she's in her 70s now, Posey Simmons. But all of them have played significant roles, and there's many more. Does this sound like discrimination to you, Andy?
No,
It does, yeah.
What does the person you're chatting to on your phone? What does Tinder think about it?
I wasn't.
I apologise. He's not on Tinder. What did Grindr think about it?
No, if you look, I was actually doing research for the show. I was reading about the Oscar thing.
You're just interested in that story, weren't you? And you couldn't be asked.
That story's finished now.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
but it sparked interest, so I was just catching up.
Oh.
He's always learning.
What do you think then, Raoul? Does this sound like discrimination against the ladies?
It does, because for him to turn around and say there is absolutely no one sounds like he's trying to cover his arse.
It does to me.
It's a shit argument, isn't it?
And it does kind of damage the credibility of the festival, because it's not as if there isn't the quality or body of work to choose from, because there is. So
yeah, so there was no argument. He's just a dick.
There is no argument.
He's a dick for saying that.
Yeah, screw you, Frank Bondonk, whatever your name is.
Bondour. So
Bondour.
tell me something. How old is Frank Bondour? Is he a young man, an old man?
I'm going to say he is middle to old.
Is he part of the team that put the whole thing together? Is he one of the organisers?
Yes, the executive officer.
So did he get to choose this list? Did he?
There's a committee and they must come up with it. We can't blame it all on Frank Bondonk.
No, but he went public though by saying that, didn't he?
Yeah, he shouldn't have
He's
said
going to get
that.
the flack.
Yeah, well, you deserve it if you're going to say stupid stuff.
The thing is it was looking at all time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where it falls down. If he was saying if it was like the last month, then you can probably say right, the last month, no, we haven't had anything produced by a female, whatever. But this is all time, and so it's just laziness on his part.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking historically, I mean, how long comic books been going for? Since the 1920s? Something like that?
Before, longer.
Egyptian
1900s.
hieroglyphics,
What,
my
yeah,
good
yeah.
man.
Well, I guess if you're going to take it all way back there.
So,
But,
Queen
I mean-
Nefertiti was known for doing a good scroll.
But in Western society, when did women start? And I'm not trying to play devil's advocate. I'm just interested to know, when did women start becoming interested in this sort of thing? Was it
There
the
have
30s,
been
40s,
women-
50s?
I would say, from pretty much the outset, there has been women. A lot
Yeah,
of the
okay.
early women did have to pretend to be men.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
So they
no
were
one will
involved.
print
Then.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it hasn't always been seen as a male-dominated
No,
thing.
there's a ton of them, and there's enough women who are significant enough, even when there've not been many women doing it. The fact that they have been the trailblazers surely puts them instantaneously up for things like this.
Well, it's not just.
Did you like the way I said "like this"?
It's not just a sexist thing.
Ooh, did you?
It's not just a sexist thing to say that. It's also a stupid thing to say that, isn't it?
Yes, it
Would-
shows a lack of understanding.
How
of
many people have pulled out in total then from his words, due to his words? How many people have walked off?
12 pulled out, and then they scrapped the list. And so I'm sure they've actually announced who won it by now, but I didn't bother looking.
Once they pulled out,
Wanted to complain.
I think a public vote is the most sensible thing to do in these kind of who do you think is the best of all time type things. But has it affected the public's attendance of this festival or?
Not at the moment, but that's one of the things that I'm thinking. This is a benchmark fest. Is this going to affect it going forward?
and
It
these
could
guys that pulled out, do they then slip back in again? What?
I don't.
Tumbleweed.
I think. Well, once they have withdrawn, I don't think they're allowed back in, are they?
I don't know. Are you?
But you can't. If someone withdraws,
Yeah.
you can't then go stuffing them back in, can you?
I suppose it depends if they've got permission or not.
You're a filthy animal. Can I just say?
What are you talking about?
Now, obviously, we're better at wars than the French. We don't stink of cheese and onion like the French, and
Garlic, you mean?
and we don't need. Well, they stink of onions as well, and they also.
They do actually.
We don't answer everything with a shrug and meh.
I don't know.
Here's another example of why we are better.
We don't strike, and we're not fans of the National Front either.
Do you know that really happened? That happened to me once when I was in a restaurant.
Mine were general stereotypes. You've just classed them all as fascist.
No, but
Well, they're turning that way, and they're forgetting what we did for them in World War II.
They are artists. Some of them,
What
when they
did you
serve
play
you.
in World War Two?
I got
Raoul.
Taft,
I got-
what did you do? Sat at home?
We were responsible for building munitions, lots of munitions.
Well, the Welsh Guard did a very active part during the invasion of Normandy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raoul wasn't there though.
Yeah.
No, I'm far too young.
I love it when people do that.
I did once get served
Slightly
in a bar
racist
in London by a French
Himmler.
waiter. So what are you doing here? You're dead, aren't you?
Don't blow my cover.
Don't blow anything. So you said...
Why is everything a sexual reference to you lately?
It's alright, Horn, though.
Isn't it? It's
No,
like,
it's
jaw,
not.
stick it back in. Whoa, don't blow this Himmler. Whoa, getting sucked off by a Nazi. Whoa.
it's usually coming from you, isn't it?
I've never done any Nazi sex jokes.
Do you want to hear my story about this French waiter or not?
I was going to move on to the actual feature we were
Okay.
talking about.
Yeah,
Go
well,
on, let another
Can we come
story. You can always edit it out later if it's shit. Go on, tell your story.
No, I can't bother now.
Can we keep it after this? Because this relates to what we've just been talking about.
Maybe I can, maybe I can't.
About
I
how
don't
we
know.
are better than the French. So, in London, you like London, don't you?
London, London, London.
In London, running from February through to May this year, there's going to be at Granary Square, King's Cross, London, a celebration of 100 pioneering female comic artists. It's called Comics Creatrix, 100 women making comics. It's going to feature people like, and this flies in the face of old Frank Bundox, but it features Mary Duval, Tove Jansson, Posey Simmons, Audrey Niffenegger, which is a good name, and Nina Bunjovic.
Bunjovac.
Yeah, they're just a few of the ladies who are going to be there, and it'll display original artwork from graphic novels, comic zines, and it's going to include stuff from Bunjak's Fatherland, Isabella Greenberg's Encyclopedia of Early Earth, and other stuff like that. So this is a celebration of female comic creators, and it's happening in London, and it's almost to me like two fingers up to Frenchie in it,
Up
really.
yours to laws.
Up yours! Whoa. Aren't you proud to be British?
Yes.
Right, tell us your story.
Oh.
Good time for coffee break now, listeners.
French waiter.
No, he was just bloody rude. You know, I went and had some Spanish friends come and stay. We went up to the bar and got these drinks, and I thought he was going to bring them over to our table, but he left them there. So I went back and picked them up again. No, I went over to ask him to give them to us. I said, I ordered some drinks. Where are they? And he said, "You say I made some drinks for you? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't." And I said, "Well, I left them here, and I thought you were bringing them over, but they've gone now." "Well, I don't know." And he turned his back on me.
Did you punch him in the face?
I said,
They
"Excuse
couldn't
me."
do it,
I
back
said,
to
"Do
you.
you want to serve me
Knuckle
two
sandwich,
drinks?"
Frenchie. What?
I said,
What's
"Serve
the
us
Queen's
now.
brew?
Serve us now. Otherwise, I want to speak to the manager." So he went sort of unceremoniously. "There you go," and gave me two drinks and then walked off.
Did he throw them at you?
He said, "I'm on my lunch break." I said, "You fucking idiot."
What was the punchline?
Well, fuck off.
What
There was no punchline. He was just bloody rude.
There
They're
we
all
go, ladies and
rude.
gents. A Frenchman was once rude to Paul.
Look, you asked me. I wasn't going to tell you.
No, he hates them.
I only did that because I'm nice. But anyway,
Cut it out.
hopefully
edit
you
it
should.
out.
I'm keeping it in. I'm keeping it in. It's a pain having to go back and edit stuff. Right. So just to remind you again, just before Paul told us that story, for those just waking back up again, it's called Comics Creatrix. 100 women making comics. It runs from February through to May. Next thing is we got sent. Sorry, not that I just do the Twitter on my own. I got sent a message on a thing called on Twitter by a group called Atticus Activists, which is they plan to do. I don't know if it's going to be a web series or a TV show, and it's going to be about 3 dazzling yet clumsy superheroines who join forces to save Mother Earth. It's comedy. If you go onto YouTube and type in Atticus Activists, you'll be able to find the channel for it, where you can see the making, the behind the scenes, the making of some of the screen casting for it. The filmed 2 episodes already. None of the rest are out. We looked at it. Everyone loved it because it features sexy titty women.
Good-looking ladies.
Yeah.
Very good looking ladies.
And it also, I got a list of the people who are in it, and it's got a guy called Jerry Bedknob as Atticus Lexus,
That can't be real name.
who's a bit like the Charlie to them. And he's been in stuff like 40-Year-Old Virgin, Zack and Miri Make a Porno, 5-Year Engagement. So you have seen him elsewhere. But the next most well-known person in it is, let me find her name, where are you? Yeah, it's a monkey called Katie. and she's been in Friends, Outbreak, Showgirls. So
What, the monkey that was in Friends is in this?
Yeah.
I thought that monkey would have died years ago. What's the life expectancy of a monkey?
I don't know.
I don't think they
Who
did that
knows?
Okay, Google.
Yeah, my phone's died, otherwise I'd be okay Googling it right now.
Yeah, cool. Well, Andy, you can search that on your phone, can't
Yeah.
you?
What's the average life expectancy of a monkey? I'm actually
It's about 40 years, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's huge.
There you go.
That's
Attenborough over there.
I'll tell you, shall I? What was it? What's the average age of a monkey? Are we talking about chimpanzee here?
Oh, well, the monkey.
No, this
Because
is
monkeys-
a spider monkey.
I think it's the
Chimpanzees is about 40 odd years.
The monkey that's in Friends.
I think. It might be longer than that, actually.
Called Katie, the monkey from Friends. Stars
okay.
as the Admiral.
Okay, so ask Google.
While you're doing that, so we watched this. What did you think of the...
How long
the
does a
trailer?
chimp live for? Google.
Can people not fucking type?
They meant to say, okay, Google, not how long's a chimp live for Google.
Oh, I know it.
It's not a chimp. It
Is this
looks
the first time you used your voice function?
It's got part of what you put here. What did you think of how long does a trim live for Google?
did you type it by any chance rather than on our audio podcast?
Oh, if I must.
Well, yes, you must. So, what did you think of it, Raoul?
I thought it looked really good fun. Obviously, it's got 3 really, really attractive ladies in it, which is, some fickle, a good enough reason to watch it. But it did look like it was a good fun, good
Romp.
Yeah, it looked like it had would be funny and entertaining. So I look forward to seeing it. And it's interesting to see, see how the story will pan out, because it's a whole environmental thing, and whether that encourages some conversations. Who knows?
Yeah, what did you think, Andy? What's happened here? You went full Mong then, didn't you?
I was reading the screen.
Reading face on Mong.
40 to 50 years, by the way.
Yeah. I thought it got some lols in it.
Yeah, it did look good. Did you like the look of it?
Can I just say that you've asked them 3 times in a row before you've asked me? That's a bit like racism, isn't it?
Well, no, because you talk 3 times as much as everyone else.
Poshism.
Yeah, it's poshism.
It's poshism. It's
Yeah.
like
But you
your
talk longer than everyone.
No, I don't.
By the time I'm trying to keep a mental memory of who I've asked. By the time you finish talking, I
Poshism.
forgot fucking everything.
Yeah, I'm being.
Do you want me to ask you first next time?
I'm being ostracised.
That's your dick. So that looked quite good. Now the next thing I want to talk about is Judge Dredd the TV show. Me and you, old cat-faced crap hat, we went to see the Judge Dredd film in 2012
We
with
did,
Carl
yeah.
Urban in it. And you liked it at the time. Then since then, you've kind of backtracked and started bitching about it, saying it was a little bit too violent.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
You
I
know,
said.
it was like
I said
gore for no reason whatsoever.
But I seem to remember saying. At the time that I didn't think there was much of an engaging storyline.
You
It was just kill,
loved
kill, kill.
You didn't say
Judge
that.
Dredd
You
isn't
really
There's
liked
one
it.
bit. There's one bit where he's got
He's
a Gatling
the
gun. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got no problem with that. But a bit more of an engaging storyline. And we just stood there, shoot this Gatling gun and destroying a building. At one point, I thought it went on for ages. It was boring.
You said you forgot what you said. You liked it when we saw it.
I don't know.
I remember we were going home from it. You went, "Oh, I enjoyed that. It was a really good
You're not putting my
film."
words in his mouth, you Steve.
I won't put anything in that filthy animal's
Here
mouth.
we go.
He said he really enjoyed it
Okay,
at the time. You've just forgotten.
Maybe I don't know. I can't remember.
That's your phone. So, phone. Did I like Judge Dredd? Yes, you did at the time, Paul. Then you backtracked on it massively and changed everything you said.
Just to make your own side right.
No, well, it's not sides really. I enjoyed the film. What you said was it was almost like a performance, the violence in it. Obviously, it's a performance, but I mean, almost like a kind of ballet of blood and gore. Where
Yeah, you've got a very good memory.
Well, that's cool. A ballet.
I have got a very good memory.
Yeah,
You need to
it's
read,
like an elephant.
you need to read a book called Screen Violence. It's a load of essays.
That'd be interesting for media studies.
It is a really good book. Camilla Paglia, whatever her name is.
Parker Bowles.
No, Paglia.
She knows about violence.
Anyway, this film did really well when it came out, with fans and critics, but did not do well in actually making the money. So even though it was really well received, they wanted to do a sequel, and they've never really had the cash to do it.
No.
But now some fans who started up a petition to try and get a new film made, They have now said, why don't they just make it like something like Netflix or Hulu to
If
make a TV
Netflix got
show?
hold of it would be hardcore. It'd be awesome.
It'd be fucking amazing.
It'd be genius.
So
yeah.
Rebellion, who were the publishers of 2000 AD, which is the comic book where Judge Dredd features, they have said, we throw our support behind this. We would love to see Netflix, Amazon Prime or HBO bring this back as a TV series. What do you reckon? I think it'd be amazing as a TV
it
series.
would be amazing. It'd be, the fact as well, with a TV series, they've got the scope and the capacity and the time to give the story that Paul...
Depth that I'm looking for,
yeah.
I like a bit of character development, that's the thing. I just felt like it was a bit one-dimensional. And my overriding memory, whatever I might have said at the time, my overriding memory is that I just thought it was a bit one-dimensional. And I seem to remember saying that to you, and you said to me, well, it's Judge Dredd, isn't it? That's what he does. He kills people. It was over-the-top glorified violence, but I guess that was the orchestration,
you not think
that was the
whole
dance, you're right.
The whole idea of this kind of charismatic fascist ruling a ruined America is just interesting. So I can't wait for Donald Trump to get voted in as president.
I think it is interesting.
Thank you very much, everyone. Political joke of the day.
Yeah. I don't think there was any investigation into that idea past just being a hard ass and just putting bad guys down. It needs more than that. So I think what Rob is suggesting, maybe if they have a mini series, that will give you some time to investigate and develop the character of Judge
Dredd
Dredd.
doesn't particularly develop at all.
He's just what he is,
you use him as an object to tell stories. But when someone leans forward like that, and
He's kind of
think they're going to pass gas
for all the stuff that goes on around him.
Yeah,
You know.
and it's very clever. The comic is for satirising celebrities. Like they even had characters based on Tony Blair years and years ago. That was you can use other things in it, and then Judge Dredd's always the same. He goes in and he sorts it out, and he is a fascist. And you're not always necessarily on his side.
Yeah.
That's what makes it good. I think it'll be
what you're going to get.
Amazing. Andy, do you have any opinion whatsoever
Well, Judge Dredd, or just
on the idea of a TV series?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
Would you watch all of it, or would you get close to the end, not like the way the story's going after watching like 6 seasons of it, and then bitch out of it, like you've done with Sons of Anarchy? I don't want to see it end badly. I'm just going to stop watching. I'm not saying that's happened, ladies and gents, but it's happened.
But then in my head, it's still it's still
all
going all right.
Everyone's happy.
I can't blame you for that, Andy, because I got out of the habit of watching The Walking Dead. I don't know why I did it. I just got
Was
a
it
bit
too violent?
No, I don't know. I got to series.
The zombies
season
were
4 and it was
one-dimensional. There's no character development.
They just kept dying the same way. I don't know. I wasn't sure that it was going anywhere. I just got out of the habit of watching it. Maybe I ought to just go and.
But it can't really go anywhere, can it?
Well, that's it. It's apocalyptic. It's the end of the world, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kill yourself.
Where are they going to end up?
Anyway, that leads us on to
Is it a metaphor for society?
Ultimo Geek, which 2015 was the year of the Andy who dominated from the very beginning to the end.
Not from the beginning. I started to.
I did from the beginning.
And then.
No one ever caught him.
But it all started with that winner takes all bollocks. When I was in the lead, somehow I got bamboozled into giving you a shot.
Anyway, new year, new
you
competition.
went mad, aren't you?
We're going to wipe the boards clean, and you're all going to start fresh.
I think I won the last one, didn't I? I was the one who won the last one. It was the James Bond one, wasn't it?
No, we've had other shows since then. We just stopped inviting you for a bit.
Oh, is that why I'm at the bottom of the list for being asked questions?
No, just because your hat keeps annoying me. Don't cover enough of your
Good.
fucking face. Okay, let's get on with Ultimo Geek. So this week it's on just general books, films, and TV shows. I will, as always, there's I think 4 possible answers. Use your fingers to show me. Don't copy off Rob, Andy.
I don't have a copy, Rob. And no, Rob putting up 2, then 3.
Yeah,
then.
whatever you hold up, I'm taking the answer. You can't then go, but I meant to have 4 up, dude.
Don't need to keep score.
Yes, could you keep score, please?
Oh, you got biscuits.
Thank you. That's Lisa. Oh my word, what a mistake it was bringing the biscuits in. Right, question
Pickles
number
and
1.
jam and claw.
Thank you.
Who wrote Fahrenheit 451?
Oh, right, thanks.
Was it Ray Bradbury,
no,
Stanley
thank you.
Kubrick, George Shaw, or Philip Dick? Philip K. Dick.
Okay.
So, Fahrenheit 451, Ray Bradbury, Stanley Kubrick, George Shaw, or Philip K. Dick? What's your answer, Andy? What are you going with? And I'll just let Lisa get the quiz mistress. And can you put down, please, a point for Andy and Paul? It was Ray Bradbury. Sorry. Not the best start, is it?
What is Fahrenheit 451 anyway?
It's the supposedly it's the burning temperature of paper. Is it not? And it's all about a world where they burn books and stuff like that. There's more to it than that, but yeah, it's a. I've got the book somewhere actually. Do you want to read it? Next one. The character in H.G. Wells' Time Machine encountered these two races in the future. Was it the Eloi and the Morlock, the Eloi and the Balrog and the Morlock, or the Balrog and the Syntherian? So let me say that again. So which of these two races was featured in H.G. Wells' The Time Machine? Was it Eloi and Morlock, Eloi and Balrog, Balrog and Morlock, or Balrog and Syntherian? I've got Raoul's answer. I've got your answer.
I can't remember.
I'm going to push you.
I'm wrong, actually.
Are we allowing
Can't change now.
We've got the answers, and everyone's wrong. It was the Eloi and the Morlocks. The Morlocks were the
I was
baddies.
going to say that. I was going to say that.
So no points for anyone.
I was going to change it to that.
Damn.
You stupid bastard.
I was going to go with that.
On to the next one. Who wrote and directed the so bad it's good movie Plan 9 from Outer Space? Is it 1. Steven Spielberg, 2. Ed Wood, 3. George Lucas, or 4. Roland Emmerich?
Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Plan 9 from Outer Space. Bela Lugosi starred in this film, I do believe. I've got your answer. How many fingers have you got on? Alright. And give a point to that one to Rob and Paul. It's Ed Wood.
Ooh.
So at the moment, Paul, you are in the lead, I do believe.
I
Am
am.
I correct? H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds was first published in 1898 and has never been out of print. Which of the following sci-fi classics was not written by H.G. Wells? Is it 1. The Time Machine, 2. The Invisible Man, 3. The Island of Dr. Moreau, or 4. 1984? So, The Time Machine, The Invisible Man, The Island of Dr. Moreau, or 1984? I've got Andy's answer, I've got your answer. Raoul, let's push you. And every single one of you is correct, 1984.
Orson Welles wrote that. That means I'm in the lead.
You sure it was Orson Welles?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Orson Welles.
Orson Welles, the
What are you
film
talking
director.
about?
Is there or in it?
No, it was
George
Orwell.
Yes, well done.
God, my brain.
Frankenstein was created by Mary Shelley as part of a challenge between friends to come up with the best horror story. One of her companions created another story that still resonates in popular culture to this day. It was 1. The Vampire, 2. The Mummy, 3. The Castle of Wolfenbach, or 4. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So let me give you them again. 1. The Vampire, 2. The Mummy, 3. Castle Wolfenbach, or 4, if I can count properly, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
There's only one that really fits into that era of Gothic, so it's got to be that, I reckon.
And Paul's correct again, it's The Vampire. Oh, you are romping home.
Yeah, well, because that was written in that period of the late...
Film noir.
Forget it!
Let's give it to Paul then.
The 18th century, never mind.
In 2001, A Space Odyssey, the ship's computer was named HAL. It took its name from the fact that the letters HAL are each one letter in the alphabet before IBM, an acronym of the word heuristic and algorithmic, which are differing approaches to machine intelligence. 3. Director Stanley Kubrick's favourite cat, Hal, who he always said had a mind of his own. Or 4. The name of the Canadian actor who provided the voice for Hal. Which one of those is correct? Andy, let's push you for an answer. I've got everyone else's. And Rob and Paul both get a point. It was heuristic and algorithmic. I've actually mentioned that once before on the show in a quiz.
Yeah, I remember.
Next question. The Daleks of Doctor Who fame take their name from? The letters on the spine of one of the books in an encyclopedia on the writer's bookshelf. Dalek. An anagram of Khaleds, the name of race of creatures from which the Daleks originally mutated. I forgot to speak just for a minute then. Their creator Davros, who gave them the name, which means cyborg in the Khaled language, or none of the above. It just rolled off the writer's typewriter. So where did the name come from originally? Right, got Rob's answer.
No idea. No idea.
And you are all wrong. While you are correct, the Daleks do come from Skaro, where the Khaleds live. That is not where their name originally came from. And also, you answered it was to do with, was it the encyclopedia for you? That was what Terry Nation, who created them, did say for a long time, was where he came up with the name. In fact, he then later admitted he just made them up.
Okay.
It's definitely
So
not
it was
cyborg though, because the Daleks are not cyborgs. Many people think they are, but they're not.
Why are they not cyborgs?
Is there biological bits of them then, on the inside?
Well, they are.
I thought a cyborg was half alive, half
They're just
robot.
machines.
But they're sat in. They're sat in like the
inside it.
In the thing. They're controlling it.
Yeah.
But it's not.
So a cyborg is not a cyborg if it's sitting down.
It's not. It's not.
He goes for
it's
shit
not
and he's
the
a robot.
It's not quite the same symbiotic relationship that you'd have with, say, like an implant.
So they're not part machine, part biological.
No,
material.
they are biological material that's sat in the machine, as opposed to being part creature, part machine.
There was an episode I watched when Peter Davison was the Doctor, and the top
say-
blows off, and you actually get to see it's like a tentacle type.
I see that quite a
inside.
lot in the recent ones, with the things inside them. Yeah, it's look like a bogey, don't they?
Yeah.
In Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, after you've done 6 impossible things today, what should you do next? 1. Have a cup of tea. 2. Have breakfast at Milliway's. 3. Press the big red button. Or 4. Don't panic. Right, got your answer. Andy, it's not going to be your year, is it?
It's not.
I've got Rob's answer,
That's wrong, but
and you're going with... And I've got to say that both Paul and Rob get a point for that. Is have breakfast at Milliway's. You put 1p in a bank account, and then by the time you get to the end of the universe, it pays for your bill.
Cool.
The term xenomorph is associated with a very particular species of science fiction monster. In which film did it first appear? Is it 1. Alien, 2. The Thing, 3. Star Trek the Motion Picture, or 4. Predator? What are you going with, Paul? Paul's correct again, it's Alien.
Fucking
You are sucking bad today. If you combined every season from every Star Trek series, how many combined seasons would you have? Not including the new one that they are making.
Right. So you're talking about all the seasons,
All the seasons from every Star Trek series.
including
The animated,
the 60s.
yeah, especially including that.
Oh
every.
God.
How many would it be? I didn't get the answers, did I? Would it be 120, 230, 340, or 550? I've got Rob's answer.
So just the series, right?
All of this, every Star Trek series, every
Not the
Star
movies.
Trek series, not the movies. They're movies. They're not part of the Star Trek series.
Okay. Just double checking.
Every season,
I don't think it's a massive amount. That's the thing.
20, 30, 40, 50. What are you going with, Andreas? I've got Andy's answer. Just you. We're going to rush you.
No,
And both Andy and Paul are correct. It's 30. 30.
Oh, I'm back in the game.
Catching up to
And at the end of the quiz, what are the scores on the doors?
hang on. Rob got 4,
Rob got 4, everybody.
Andy got 3,
You got 3.
and Paul got 5, 6, 7, 8.
8
Get in.
points. Good lord. You romped
Trounced
home
that, didn't I?
how did that happen?
Because I is also, it's my thinking hat. That's what it is. It's my cap on.
It's just, yeah, he did. Are you going to bring that every week now?
Bloody am now,
You're
yes.
going to wear that in town as well.
I might do.
Right, just to finish off.
What do you think?
Just take a selfie
With or
with it.
without, without glasses. It reminds me, I used to wear a cap
Was that a
with
little-
vape around.
A little knock on his obsession with putting photos of himself on Facebook, pulling the strings kind of apparently
I
like.
wasn't. It was my daughter that took it. She was playing SLR.
Yeah, it was your daughter that took it and uploaded it to Facebook.
But it's like
No, but she
hiding
likes
you.
it, eh?
It's like from one of the angles.
Yeah, because she was standing on top of the poo face. She was
The
standing
poo face.
She was standing on the sofa and then she stood on the poo face. And actually, she broke the bloody thing as well. The wheel came off.
Oh, bloody
Yeah.
poo face.
Bloody married, bloody daughters.
Right, can we get on with just the last thing of the show? The last thing is, now we reviewed a version of this. This is a collection, an anthology of comics by Dirty Rotten Comics. You can go to their website, dirtyrottencomics, all one word, .co.uk, or see them on the Twitter at Dirty Rotten Comics, but spelt COMX, if you want to do that on Twitter. They sent us one of these before, and they sent us a new one. This is the 2015 Winter Edition, and it features a bunch of different comic strips from lots of different creators, many of them females as well, keeping in this feminist vibe that we're going with this week. Now, I've had a look through all of them, and like last time, you did say last time, Raoul, that you aren't keen on this type of comic book, are you? Because you want one story that goes all the way through it, don't you?
I want there to be consistent quality. I often find with these type of anthology comics, they often end up shoving stuff in just for padding. So you get a few really, really good gems, and the rest are a bit whatever.
I think that can happen, and what you also got to take into account is that there's lots of different styles, and some types of comics I would never buy because I don't like the style of them, and the others. And so anthologies always fall down on that. But what I want to show you is, I'm going to skip through and I'll show you some of the ones which really stand out as looking awesome. Now the good thing about this is some are drawn very, very well. Some maybe not quite so well, but the actual stories. And the first one in it is called Welcome to Britain, and it shows this student coming to this country, and this student clearly loves everything about Britain, and it quite nicely and cleverly shows the experience that she has as she goes about her day-to-day life in Britain. And by the end of it, it gets to her meeting this counsellor, and the counsellor says to her, "So you're feeling sad and alone? Have you tried integrating a bit more?" And in fact, she has tried at every stage to integrate, and that is I think it's actually drawn really well as well. But it's quite simple, not as complex as some stuff, but I like the way it's drawn. It's by Matthew Broadhurst, and the idea behind it is very clever and very suitable for a lot of the conversations going on. Let me show you some others, and I'll give a call out. Now this one is drawn by G. Williams, it's written by Mikhail Lopez, it's called Catch. Now, I won't talk too much about the story because I don't want to give away. There's a nice little twist in this story. Look at the artwork in it, considering this is for an anthology.
Wow.
Really, really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful.
This is kind of very reminiscent for me of kind of Frank Miller's Sin City type
Yes.
stuff, but not a copy of that. You can see there's a unique style. They're just using the blacks and whites really well. Really, really clever story, neat twist at the end, and I think this is drawn really well. Really, really well. So I'll just skip through and show you a few other ones. So
It's nice, isn't it?
yeah, it's really well done. It's handled the blacks and whites brilliantly on it. The next one is called, I'm picking out, I'm only going to pick a few out to show you. Rebels, this is by Jay Levang, and again, drawn very differently, but I love the look of this one. Just the way they kind of, it's not the same kind of sharp, solid blacks.
There's good movement in there as well. I mean,
It looks like it's moving. It looks to me like an animator has probably worked on it. I don't know anything about the artist.
It's like a bit more pastel-y, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to say the word scruffy because it isn't scruffy, but just the way some of it's
very
drawn.
loose and very free. That's probably the way.
It's loose, but without looking shit.
But
Yes.
there's some deliberate bits where they deliberately works around the outside edge of the motorcyclist there. That aesthetic looks very pleasing, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, he uses greys, whereas the last one we looked at didn't.
Yeah.
I think it works really nicely.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
really, really clever, and it looks good. Again, I think these are some of the nicest ones I'm picking out as far as visually goes. I think he's done a great job. I love that. Now, the next one I want to show you, I'll skip through. Now, there's lots of other ones, some of them far more simplistic, but they tell funny stories, or the idea behind them is very clever. The one I want to skip to, this is the one I want to show. This is called Dark Skies by Anitos.
Looks very much. What's that? The mouse guy, Morse. What's his name?
Morse.
He's got a moustache.
I was going to say, do you mean what's his name? I've forgotten his name now. His name's Art Spiegelman, the guy you're thinking about. But I was going to say, who played John Thor? I think it almost looks. I know it's not. It looks almost like it could be done kind of like lino cut.
I know. I was going to say that. Yeah.
Very strong blacks and whites.
It could be. It could be a print, couldn't it?
It could be. I don't think it is. I've got a feeling it might. They may have drawn it. It could have been drawn straight on the computer. You know. It might not have been, but I like it again. I think it looks good. It's very different to the other stuff, and this is again one of the big selling points of an anthology like what Bleeding Cool do. You get to see so much stuff, all very different, and you wouldn't get that in just one comic. I'm going to skip through and show you some other ones. So there's a really nice one about some guy who gets shouted at by some shitty little 15-year-old kid, and he just turns around and tells him to F off, but very cleverly through the writing, and that's by Julian, I think it's Henshaw. Let me show you the last one, because I don't want to talk about every single one of them and give it all away. Because if the listeners like it, they should buy it and stop being such cheap gits.
That's cool. What's it called again?
It is called Bleeding Cool Comics. I'll give the shout out for it again. We've featured one of theirs before, but I like it.
I do as well.
I think overall, I like the last one we did.
This
I
is
think
better.
The standard has improved.
Yeah.
Looks like the stories are quite, independent, individual. They're unusual.
Very, very. Like this one, I really like this one. This is about a guy who wakes up and he ends up falling through a hole that appears in the floor. And the whole story, again, very simple, black, white, lots of solid blacks in it. And then the story ends up looping round at the end. But it looks good. That's by joshhicks.co.uk if you want to find out more about him. So I was going to show you the last one. That one, the one I'm going to show you. I keep forgetting how many of them I actually liked. There's tons in there, and you can grab that. So I'm going to show you the last one. There's one that really caught my eye. And the reason why I mentioned it is because I've started a new thing for the show, and it features. This is it.
Is it the whole book?
Yeah, they sent me the whole book to review.
Wow.
It's 60 pages you get when you buy this. So I think it's well worth it. And the cover art's really nice, it's like an Aztec design. This is about a guy who wears his cat on his head one day. And this is a kind of story. It's drawn well, but the story is really clever because it becomes a fashion, and loads of people start copying it, and then eventually gets bored of the fact that everyone's wearing cats on their head. Really, really funny that one is, and clever as well. And again, a comment on our current society, you could say. So I thought that's such a Paul comment in it. It just
You just said current society, didn't you?
That was by Joseph Juris. That check me out. Quite a nice pun there, isn't it? So that is our comic of the week. There's loads of other ones in there. Just because I didn't pick them out, doesn't mean they're not worth looking at. But they're some of the top ones. What did you think of them?
Good. I want to buy it. So that's got to be an endorsement, isn't it?
Yeah, dirtyrottencomics.co.uk.
Yeah, get it from Waterstones, I guess.
I don't know. I think you can get it off the website. I'm not sure if it's in Waterstones or if in Waterstones. Why not?
I think I'm making note of that.
Well,
Now,
probably the print number, isn't it?
if you like that, they're actually at the moment they're looking for artists to submit stuff for their next edition. Got to be black and white, and it's got to be like a comment on something recent.
Society.
Yes. Anyway, that is everything this week. We're just hitting an hour in the next few seconds, so this is a good time to stop.
It's the shortest podcast we've done.
We've done short ones, but still pretty good. Let's keep it under an hour. It's goodbye from me, Steve. We'll catch you next week. Andy
Goodbye.
and Raoul,
Goodbye.
Paul.
That was ghastly.